Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you an individual stock pick in Chevron Corporation, symbol CVX. I did record this video on Thursday, January 29th, 2026 for our Wicked Stocks YouTube channel. We try to do a couple of these a month for free, just so you know that what you're about to watch, we provide twice a week, 2 individual stock picks a week, continuously at our wickedstocks.com subscription platform, where you also get daily NVIDIA, daily Triple Q, daily SPY analysis, et cetera, et cetera. So this we provide twice a week. We actually just put out a stock pick as I speak here. Just about 15 minutes ago, we did another video on Microsoft that can only be found at wickedstocks.com. And prior to that, Constellation Brands. Prior to that, Super Microcomputer. When we put a stock pick video out, it doesn't mean that we have a buy signal recommendation. So when I rattle off these names, it doesn't mean that we're in a buy signal. Although with respect to Chevron, you can see this descending channel top. We are in the midst of a buy signal as we speak, above 171.20. And in fact, the 1% violation threshold is 172.92, which we're just below right now. And so closing any day this week at 172.92 or higher does satisfy our 1% margin requirement. In other words, what I mean by that is 1% beyond 171.20. If we were to close, for instance, at 171.22, it's just too close to call. The analogy I like to use is the rubber band that stretches. Now, typically, we scout 20% moves. This is not a 20% move up to 189.68. It's more of a, it's closer to a 10 or 12% move. But we think it's something that should be mentioned. We thought it was a good pick to put out on YouTube. It's consistent with buy signals we're receiving. Now, I'm also a commodities analyst. I've been analyzing commodity markets for commodity producers, primarily business to business, for 30 years. And we've got a fresh buy signal in West Texas Intermediate that's anticipating, roughly $72 a barrel. We're around 65 right now. So this is consistent with all that, obviously. And if we close at 172.92 or higher, we're expecting a retest of that November 22 high of 189.68. Double top potential long term, perhaps. Yes, and this is an area, at the very least, I think you should take most of, if not all of your profits, if you happen to take advantage of this buy signal with a settlement at 172.92 or higher. We're expecting 189.68. With present volatility, this could be by the end of February. Could even be sooner. The crude oil market is definitely responding to threats by the Trump administration to bomb Iran over the last 24 hours. It has yet to do so, but the market's certainly preparing for that. So closing above 171.20 by the 1% margin, 189.68 is likely. Now, strength in the crude oil market is also being supported presently by a sell signal in the U.S. dollar. This is a monthly chart of the U.S. dollar index, and we also posted this on our YouTube channel. You may have already seen it just a few days ago, and I'm just sort of underscoring there's an inverse relation roughly between crude oil, which is priced in petrodollars, and the U.S. dollar. So, as the U.S. dollar weakens, crude oil strengthens, and vice versa sometimes. It's not so much crude oil impacts the U.S. dollar, but the U.S. dollar can certainly impact the price of crude. And so we're seeing support in crude on a number of counts. One is, of course, just the weak U.S. currency. We're in a sell signal right now. Once again, this is a monthly chart that goes back over 30 years. And this is an 18-year channel bottom that we've been testing for the last 6 or 8 months, but we've yet to close below it. And so that is likely to happen because there's only a few days left in the month of January. This is a monthly bar. That's the January bar, the most recent one. So if we close below 98.20 in the U.S. dollar index, which looks very likely to me, we're looking for the upper 80s. Another 10% break like we saw from basically January to May of the last year. So that's what's also supporting this. I feel good about this trade, assuming we close at 172.92 or higher. Last time I'm going to say it, 189.68 becomes our next objective that may be realized in as little as 3 to 5 weeks. Typically, though, this is a 2 to 3 month target, but with presently spiked volatility and what's going on in the world, it could be much sooner than that. I'm going to leave it at that for this particular Wicked Stocks video analysis on Chevron. You have a great day.